Hi guys, welcome to our next Wave 21 review for Attack Wing, and it is this one. Yeah, it's the Bajoran Solar Sailor called the Denorios by WizKids. If you've read the written review on Scost already, you will know that I'm not a great fan of this. The challenge with this one is, from a model perspective, that the detail is always going to be a challenge. You're trying to do a little two-man ship with a lot of strut work and sort of sail detail and little cockpit module detail, and I just don't think it's worked out quite as they may have hoped. As a representation for the game, it works perfectly because you don't need to have that much detail. As a model, I have to say the Eagle Moss one is hands down easily the better one of the two, given the fact that it is, one, a lot larger, and two, it can do a lot more with the detail. This is okay, but I'm just not a great fan of it. I've also realised that I now have actually got it on the wrong way round on the stand, because if we're thinking about it, it would fly that way. But yeah, it's just not enough detail on it. And also, if you look at mine, the sails are a little bit wonky, which is not great. So what I will do first thing is just to kind of turn this round because I have been silly and put it on the wrong way. So let's put it back on so we can actually have it the right way, because of course the sails would be pulling it forward. So, Bajoran Solar Sailor. Yeah. Stats on this one are 1 for attack, 2 for defense, 3 hull and 0 shield. Your basic actions, you've got your evade and your scan. You've got a forward 90-degree firing arc that you can see there. And I've got the captain here as a Corum Lan, who we will come to shortly. But yeah, very basic. This is only the second Bajoran miniature that we've had in the retail side of the game. The first being the Ratosha, which was a Bajoran Scout class ship from the Siege from season 2 of Deep Space Nine. And this is the second, which was from the episodes Explorers from season 3 and Accession from season 4. Right, let's have a look at the pack. So let's just pop that over there. So as we usual, we'll start off with the ship itself, which is a Bajoran Solar Sailor, the Denorios, because there's always a named version. It was never named in either of the episodes. It's a unique, of course, and it comes with 2 tech slots. And interestingly enough, it's 12 points. It's a really low scoring ship to begin with, and there are not a lot of extras in this pack which are going to help you get up to a 40 or 50 point total for the ship. So you're really going to be struggling, especially with just 2 slots here. What can we say about it? Well, when defending during the compare result step, you may place an auxiliary power token beside your ship to cancel a damage result. It's really playing on the fact that you have very little defense and you have very little attack here. So this will help at least defend against something. Whether or not it's going to make a big difference in the overall result in the game, I don't think so. You've not got a lot to start with, and I really don't see how you would use this effectively during the game. If anybody can come up with a really good way of using this ship, I'd be very interested to find out. Also, you've only got a movement of 3. You have a full range of movements at 2 and 1. Again, the 180 come about are in there, but they do incur the auxiliary power token that you're going to get from this. So you're going to be able to use features here, but a lot of them will incur that auxiliary power token penalty. You've got your banking turns at 3, full range of movement at 1 and 2, plus some green manoeuvres in there, which is great to get rid of those auxiliary power tokens. When, I don't say if, when you incur them. If we're looking at the generic version of the ship, you will not lose any points for the shields because there aren't any. So in fact, the generic version still costs 12 points, but you lose a tech slot and the unique actions. That's quite unusual that you've got a generic version of the ship which doesn't lose any of the points. Okay, moving on. We are looking at the captain option. So you have your generic Bajoran, which is the Vedic, again from Accession. You'll see a lot of this pack is based around that episode, so we'll get rid of him. And then we have our main captain, which is a Corum Lan, who was the fake emissary from session. 2-point captain skill, costs you 1 point, very, very low. Doesn't have a elite action slot. However, his unique action is that he can field up to 2 Bajoran elite action upgrades. You could have just put the slot on there and just said he could field another one. But anyway, that's just down to me. Very basic captain. Again, what you find with this pack is that everything about it is very, very basic. I just can't see how you're going to be using this ship regularly, especially if you're playing it faction pure and using Bajorans, because you ain't going to last very long. This pack also didn't come with any crew options. I would have really liked to have seen them play a little bit on the the Explorers episode and put maybe a Jake Sisko and a Ben Sisko character in here, maybe just as crew options, just to kind of give it a bit bigger scope. Maybe even allow that to be a Federation upgrade as part of this pack. But sadly they didn't. What we do have though is 3 of the elite actions. So I'll pop him over there. You've got Legendary Hero, we've got Emissary, and we have Dejaras. All 3 of them are 5 points. We'll start with Dejaras, which is effectively the Bajoran caste system. So the action here, costing you 5 points, as we said, is to discard this card to target a friendly ship at range 1 to 3. Target ship may perform an action listed on one of that ship's crew upgrades. If the crew upgrade is Bajoran, treat this action as a free action. It can only be purchased for a Bajoran captain assigned to a Bajoran ship. So you've got very few options with that. Nice thing with this is it does relate the Denorios to more of a support ship role. But then looking at the scout ship that you'd had with the Ritoshi, you're also looking at that's potentially going to be a support role anyway. You are going to be able to help any friendly ship, which is at range 1 to 3. And effectively give it a free action if it's a Bajoran one. Nice. It's kind of helping it out. Again, you're helping a support ship probably a support ship if that's the case. Okay, the second one we've got is Emissary. 5 points again, as we said. At the start of the activation phase, you can discard this card to remove all disabled upgrade tokens from all Bajoran upgrades deployed to all friendly ships within range 1 to 3. Again, quite a broad action here. It's very similar to what we saw with Dreadnought, but on a more defensive level. So we've got the Dreadnought missile, which was looking offensive and affecting ships within a range 1. With the Denorios, the Solar Sailor, we're looking at things which will assist ships within up to a range 3. So it's quite a broad area that we're looking at. You're paying very little price for the ship, but then getting a lot of benefits in a larger area to help the other ships within your fleet. It is only Bajoran upgrades that it will help it with. So there aren't a lot of those out there within the game. And it's really not stuff that's going to give you a lot of benefits. But it's great that we've got a ship that is kind of trying to enhance those upgrades and the opportunities. It is a disable for 5 points. You are going to use it once. It means you can effectively rag all your upgrades, completely disable them all, and then just use this one card to get you out of trouble. So nice little move. Still not greatly through. As you'll see, I'm not a great fan of this pack as we go through it, which was evident from the review that I did and also the comments I got back from WizKids. Legendary Hero, the last one, again focusing again on the session episode. You can discard this card at the start of the combat phase to gain 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice for that round. Upgrade can only purchase for a Bajoran captain pursuant to a Bajoran ship. So 5 points for a 1-use discard. It's going to give you, if you're using the Denorios or the generic version, in fact, 3 for attack and a 4 for defense for that whole round. So it's not just a 1 attack and a 1 defense option. It's for the whole round. So if you're getting pummeled, which I suspect will happen with this one because this is going to be the first target if you use it, you are getting the benefit that for an entire round you are going to up your game a little bit and get the benefits of this card. But it is again 5 points for a discard, and it's going to give you a little bit more playability with this ship. Moving on, we have just the 3 tech upgrades. As I said, there are no crew upgrades with this one. We have rolling up tachyon eddies, we have main sails, and we have solar sail powered. All focused, of course, on the abilities of the Solar Sailor. So we'll start with a 3-pointer. After you reveal your maneuver dial, you may discard this card to treat any revealed maneuver as a green maneuver. Of course, if you are using the maneuvers, the best ones you're going to be wanting to use is your come about. So your 1 and 2 come about will be treated as a green, so you're not going to incur the auxiliary power token. penalty. So definitely something that you can use quite a bit there. I'd say, yeah, you're gonna end up putting this one on because it's going to be able to spin you around and get you out of trouble. And it's only a disable, so you can use this as many times as you want during the game, which is really nice to see. So I like that one. Again, helping the ship a little bit. Still quite a basic action. Mainsails, 4 points, again, tech upgrade. At the start of the game, place 2 shield tokens on this card. When your ship suffers damage, remove these tokens first. You cannot use these tokens to activate any other card abilities. So as you remember, and I'll pull the ship card back again when I realise where I've put it down. Here we go. As you can see with that, your shields are 0. So effectively this card for 4 points is giving you 2 shield tokens to start off with. So you've got a little bit of room to maneuver, a little bit more defense options, so you can effectively turn your defense from a 3 into a 5. It's gonna give you another probably 1 or 2 goes. As you'll have seen from this pack, there's a lot of extra stuff, so it's a very basic ship, and then you're building on what you would see as obvious actions for Federation ships, Klingon ships, Romulan ships, etc. With this one, it's very much a case of if you want to build it up to a 22 or 24 points, you're going to be requiring a lot of these cards to do that action. You know what, I'm going to leave that there because it's coming in quite useful. Can only be purchased for a Solar Sailor, and you can only have one of those on there. So yeah, it's good. If you suffer damage, you get to effectively use your 2 freebie shield points with that one, which is great. And the last one, another 5 pointer. So all the upgrades in here, none of them cost more than 5. As you can see, it's going to be very, very difficult to get yourself up to. If you think about it, the maximum you're going to be able to put on this ship is 2 tech upgrades plus 2 of your elite action. So the maximum you're going to put on this ship is another 20 points. So you're only going to go up to 32 points as a maximum. So you're still going to have 8 points if you're playing 40-point game, or 18 points if you're playing 50-point game. Tachyonides, as we said, last one, 5 points. When you reveal your chosen maneuver, you may disable this card to add up to 3 to that maneuver speed. Looking very much at the events that happened at the end of Explorers, where we found out they were using the currents to travel between Bajor, and Cardassia. It's going to increase your speed. So if you think about it, you can actually turn effectively a 3 into a 6. However, you inflict 1 damage to your ship if you add 2 to your speed, or inflict 2 damage to your ship if you add 3 to your speed. So if you add 2, you inflict 1. If you add 3, you inflict 2. Just remember what your hull score is. So you can effectively get yourself down to 1 hull point straight away. So it's always worth going to have those 2 shield points that you've got from mainsails on there. So I would suggest the 2 things you're going to have on there are mainsails and tachyonides, because it's going to give you the best opportunities here, especially if you need to get out of trouble. You're going to be able to use the speed, get yourself up to a 6 and do a runner, or you can just do a 4 and not cause yourself any problems. It is a disable. You can use it again, just be aware it's going to cause you some serious issues around your ship stats, and you ain't going to last very long. Again, only available for Solar Sailor, and you can only have 1 of those per ship. Okay, that is it for the pack, which is a real surprise. It's very, very sparse. But you do also get the mission in here. Now, I was really excited when I saw the mission because it's a 1-player mission, which means I don't have to have any friends, which is great because, as you all know, I generally don't have any friends. Then I kind of read through it and flipped over and saw the picture on the back. So to those of you who are collectors of Attack Wing, you will pretty much recognise that layout, because that is the layout from the Pegasus game, which was to get from one side of the map to the other using the phasing cloak and the ship and not get damaged. So effectively this is exactly the same. You are moving the asteroids again per go. As I said, it probably takes you longer to move the asteroids. There you go, there's the movement for the asteroids, than it will do to play the game as a whole. So you just need to reach Cardassia space with at least 1 damage to your hull if you've marginal success, complete success with no damage. So yeah, it's pretty much the same scenario as the Pegasus. I was a bit disappointed when I saw what it actually was after I'd read that it was a 1-player and you turn over the cards, and got quite into the fact that it was going to be really good, and then I was a bit disappointed. Overall though, we'll just bring the Denorios back in with Akoram Land as its captain. Am I disappointed with this one? Yes and no. Yes, because the model is a bit meh, and the cards are a bit but it's got some interesting ideas in there, and it certainly as a support vessel will help you if you are Bajoran. I just don't know how many people out there are going to be playing the Bajoran faction regularly, just because it's so low powered and there are so few options, unless you've got a fleet of scout ships and a fleet of these, which would be amazing. You can imagine a 200-point game with like 10 of these floating around, 120 points worth of Solar Sailor in the game. Yeah, it's okay. Just for a tease though, the next one and the final one from the Wave 21 ships that we'll be looking at will be this one, which is the Robinson, the Jemadar attack ship, which is Federation, but does have a Dominion option on it. So until then, when we're doing the Robinson, which I'm really looking forward to kind of covering, it's been a pleasure. There's the Solar Sailor again, just to pop that back in. And we will talk to you soon.
Transfer complete.